Yeah, I mean, so we've had women who come on the show who will just not even meet up with the dude, and dudes will just send them thousands of dollars.
So that I disagree with. It was more of like, I guess, OnlyFans in a sense, or exotic dancers or strippers.
It's definitely life
I
on
think
easy mode.
if I may, I think she's asking the difference where you've said OF or being an online whore is easy mode. Do you consider exotic dancing easy mode? Because there's a lot of physical strength and a lot more work that goes into that than just posting selfies of yourself naked online.
Well, I think it's, I mean, the amount, if you can procure, for example, a sugar daddy from the strip club, and that sugar daddy is in turn paying for your bills and your groceries without any sort of romantic or sexual reciprocation, I would argue that that's life on easy mode. But I mean, it's harder to scale. Like when you're on OF, you can scale the amount of money you can make, whereas in a strip club, it's kind of limited a little bit. Maddie, can you read this one really quick?
Only action I get in bars is gay guys shoving their thumb up my beep. Sometimes that's the highlight of my week. At least I was hot enough for a guy. Would that make your week, ladies?
Fuck no.
Up my butt.
Make
Wait,
my
what?
year.
I don't think he's actually shoving the thumb up the...
Okay. Thank you, Nickelodeon. Appreciate
I
it.
also think, though, like, back to our other conversation, if it wasn't easy doing that, do you think a lot of girls would do that job?
I agree that I think it's easy to obtain, but maybe not maintain. Because, like, I mean, going into like that field or that environment, when as you say that you kind of alienate yourself from almost everyone else, I feel like a lot of other people wouldn't really agree with your career choice or how you spend your time, because obviously that's your job. So would it be that, like, not as in it's easy, or I'm sorry, not that it's harder than someone going to school and getting a job, but wouldn't you say that's hard too?
And I kind of want to say something about your point, because like, you know, being in a city like Vegas, and I do know, I would say, quite a few people that work in especially exotic dancing industry. There's a lot of guys that do come in, like you said, that are kind of that sugar daddy material that'll try to be like, oh, I'll give you such and such amount of money and I'll take you out of the club, yada yada, whatever. And I've noticed a lot of those girls don't necessarily have it easy, because a lot of the times they kind of get coyed into becoming some sort of sugar baby, whatever. But it's never enough for what they're looking for, like to actually get out of the club. So based off of like friends that I know from what they make in the club, there's sugar daddies that'll go in there and say, oh, I'll give you this amount of money and I'll make these promises, but they're really not keeping up with that. So the amount of money they're making in the club it makes more than what some dude would come in the club and offer.
But can I ask you something, since you have friends who've worked in that environment? I know quite a few people who have worked as security in those places, or have managed them, or various people I've talked to from all over the country, and they claim that most of these strip clubs are rife with prostitution, that probably most of the strippers engage in various forms of prostitution and get paid extremely handsomely for that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree that that's true?
It is, to a certain extent. So in the city and Clark County, and well, Las Vegas in general, it's actually illegal. Prostitution is illegal. But if you
That's because it's regulated, right?
Yeah. So, but you can go to Nye County, which is only about a 40-minute drive, which is Pahrump, essentially. And it's legal. But they kind of separate those. So you do have, like, Bunny Ranch, for example, is in Pahrump. That's a brothel. It's not necessarily exotic dancing. It's go ahead.
The Earl Optimized donated $100. Women have dating on easy mode. Let's be real here though. Women control access to sex, but men control access to relationships and marriage. Only simps marry 304s. The rest are cat ladies.
Can I say something? I think that it's easy mode because you have the choice to do that. If you have a man who's like doesn't know what to do for money, he can't just go on OnlyFans and make a lot of money. It's a choice that you made that men don't have that choice. That's why it's easy mode. Is it hard? Yeah, but it's your choice.
Well, even removing OnlyFans and stripping from the thing, we've had even just normal college girls come on the show and they're like, oh yeah, I'm getting offers to, like, dudes will just DM them, oh, I'm getting offers to be flown out. They're sending feet pics for $300.
Yeah.
They can go on Seeking and find some sort of arrangement there. So whereas that, there's no corresponding, like, basically just getting almost free money from women. There's no corresponding thing for men. Like, have any of you, maybe certainly you didn't accept it, have any of you received offers from men to money for pictures, even non-nude pictures? Show me your feet, do some stupid activity, fucking degrade me. Look, these dudes I don't know why these men do it, and if you're watching, the fuck are you guys doing? What the fuck?
Did you say received money or received offers?
Either.
I think both.
I receive offers almost on a daily basis. I've never received money from
I've never received anything from a woman.
No.
And I'm out there in the public
agree.
for a decade.
Even just Twitch
No women are
donations.
like, oh, Brian, can you call me a 304? Send a voice memo. I'll give you $100. They ain't doing it.
No, I believe it actually when Andrew and I first met.
I blame men, though. I blame the men for this.
One point I debated was that no matter how old you are, no matter how attractive you are, as a woman, you always have the backup plan of finding a man who's going to be able to take care of you and never working a day in your life. But as a man, you do not have that option unless in very rare scenarios you meet a sugar mama who's going to take care of you. But 99% of the time, any woman can find a man to fully sustain them if they choose not to work.
Question going around the table. Have you received an offer to be like a sugar baby or to be paid, just a guy to send you money to, I don't know, not... Yeah, let's just do
Come to
sugar.
Dubai.
Sugar baby. Have you had like a sugar daddy, sugar baby offer?
I haven't. I have had the offers, yes. Lots.
How many do you think?
In like just the,
Total, your whole life?
Oh my gosh.
Over 100?
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Over, yeah?
I mean,
over 100?
in general, yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
Over 100?
Yeah.
Over
Over
1,000?
100.
Probably.
Like two. Like
2? Okay, that's still,
Yeah, like a handful.
handful.
Yeah.
Same thing, handful.
Into the mic if you can.
Same thing, handful.
Madison?
A lot now, but even even when I was in like high school, like
Yeah.
I would still get offers like that. So it's like,
Yikes. Yeah, I would say that I've had zero offers,
can
and
get
most
you one.
men, most men ain't getting. I
agree.
And not even one.
I hope
their
they-
whole life.
And if it is, if it is men offering that, it's usually gay men offering to take care of men. It's almost
Yeah.
never
Right.
the
That's
woman. It's
true.
still a
Right.
man offering the money.
Yeah.
I will
exactly.
I will say though, I feel like it also is dependent on like location, like the situation, because I know a couple of guys who have been approached by older wealthy women in my area, and they're like, hey, I think you're really, just a cute little stud. Why don't you let me take you out and we'll figure something out? And it's usually not never equated to what
Yeah,
most,
sure, but
But-
again, this is the exception proving the rule.
yeah
Right? So you're pointing to the exception, and the reason that it's an exception is because there is a rule.
yeah
So the exception proves the rule here.
I don't, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Like,
Yeah.
I've heard of it happening. I believe you that there's guys, but it's so rare. And I would also argue that the women that are doing that probably aren't going to be nearly as generous. They almost might even do it begrudgingly. Like, there's probably something back there where it's like not at the sort of willing level that men are going to be doing it as. And like, it's different. It's gotta be different somehow.
And you may disagree with me, but from what I've seen in the very few instances where I know younger men who have gone to, who are sugar babies to sugar mamas, is usually older women, MILFs, whatever you want to call them, who have a lot of money, are single, kind of desperate, so they're like, I'll just offer to pay a hot guy because I'm never going to get that any other way.
to a certain extent. I mean, from like the people that I know that have been in those scenarios, it's usually some hotter divorced MILF, I'll say, and she's just kind of like it's that get back. So yeah, I will say there's always that like hidden agenda in the background, so I do agree with you on that. But it's usually that hotter MILF that's like, you know what, screw my ex-husband, I'm gonna go grab me a stud and I'm just gonna walk around with my little arm candy and I'll pay his bills for the next however long. But
They usually don't last. It's like a temporary thing in most cases as well, from what I've seen.
yeah, I've had a couple that have lasted. Like there was a guy I knew from high school that ended up getting with, as crazy as it sounds, somebody's in our school's mom. But it lasted for a good while from what we all saw, and we all
Lasted, past tense.
Yes, the only reason it ended was because she what we had heard was she was just getting put in a rut because of getting laid off because of COVID. So that was like why it ended. But
let's we have something that we're going to react to